Bart, good morning, and thank you for joining me in this Data Sommelier talk show. So this session will be in English. I think this is my first time I do something in English. As you know, I'm French, based in France, so I used to produce content in French, but. I know you speak French, but we've decided to do an English session because maybe you are more comfortable describing things, IT things in English. And we are here to talk about Apache Hop. This is a data integration solution that can be used in many contexts, analytical, data warehousing, lakehouse, but not only that, it's also
No,
about streaming and real-time things. And so thank you for joining me. I really appreciate.
thank you.
And we have prepared some slide about this project, and up to you, Bart. You do the
Well,
show now.
yeah, thanks. Introduction to Apache Hop. I'm one of the Apache Hop PMC members, Project Management Committee members, also an OBI founder, and we'll take a closer look at what Hop is. First of all, why would you choose Apache Hop? The Pentaho Community Edition, one of the large open source data integration platforms, is gone, disappeared from the market. The same is true for the Talend Community Edition. I'm pretty sure that is the biggest open source option in France. Pulled out their open source offering from the market in late 20 or mid 2024. And Apache Hop is an alternative for those two, for other platforms as well, of course. But Apache Hop as an open source platform is open, is active, is evolving, and provides an alternative to those data engineering project solutions.
Okay.
Modern data engineering, so we integrate with modern platforms, scalable workflows in streaming and batch. That basically means that you can run Hop as a Swiss Army knife in your data engineering projects. We work with all of the traditional data engineering use cases, build data marts, process files, work with REST APIs. We can run on-prem in the cloud, so the three major clouds, AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, are well supported. You can also run on-prem in Docker and Kubernetes, so we offer a lot of flexibility there.
Okay, so there are years of development behind this project.
Hop started as a fork of Pentaho data integration back in 2019, so well over 5 years ago.
Yes.
And we have, with the shared history with Pentaho data integration, we have 20 years of development, 20 years of functionality in our past. So we have a very rich set of functionality, hundreds of plugins, and there's always more that we can add, but we have a very rich set of functionality available.
Yeah, and you are under the umbrella of Apache Software Foundation, so it makes things more secure, maybe, or with a roadmap and with development.
Well, we'll get to that in a minute. I'll talk about that first. The importance of being an Apache project is that we are part of the Apache Software Foundation, which is one of the largest foundations, open source foundations, similar to the Linux Foundation, the CNCF, the Cloud Native Software Foundation. And as an Apache project, we went through an incubation period that started in 2020, so a couple of years behind us as well.
Okay.
And in that incubation period, the foundation checks any potential licensing issues. So everything has to be Apache license compatible, checks potential copyright problems, branding, trademark issues. So all of that from a legal point of view is checked and is safe. And then after that incubation period, you graduate and you have the power and the
the background of the foundation.
All of the brand awareness of the Apache Foundation.
Okay.
And also, as part of the Apache process, all of the decisions in the Apache Hop project are taken democratically. So all of the discussions happen on mailing lists. We also use GitHub discussions. So all of the decisions are discussed first, and then releases are voted on. So we have a democratic process and a meritocracy where people who have contributed, who have shown that they know and add value to the project, have a say in the project and the development and the bug fixes in the roadmap.
Yeah, okay, very clear. So yeah, I've seen on the next slide that you're talking about the community. Good.
Yes, well, and community is a very important aspect of an open source project. Again, as an Apache project, we exist by our community. The PMC, the project community, project management community, has 10 members now. We have 24 official committers. There will be a couple of additional ones that will be added in the first quarter of the year. We're getting closer to 100 contributors on GitHub. Almost 8,000 commits, more than 1,000 stars, LinkedIn growth, YouTube. So we have an active and global community. We have clusters of community members in South America and North America, a large and active community in Europe, and then in Asia as well.
Yeah, and I've seen a lot of communication from you and from your LinkedIn page, No BI, a lot of content, new release and new product, new announcements.
Yes.
So
No BI and Apache Hop. We as No BI, we contribute to Apache Hop, but we're just part of the project, and that is an important aspect of being an open source project that no single company owns or decides on the project.
Okay, very good.
So benefits for companies. Again, as part of the ASF, Apache Hop is open source, and I already mentioned that it's not owned by a single company, and that is an issue that you often see with other or with commercial open source. The project software is available. There's a GitHub repository. Tickets can be created, but the bugs that are fixed, the features that are implemented, are basically decided by a single company, and that is impossible with the with Apache projects. The Apache Software Foundation keeps an eye on projects and makes sure that things are healthy, that there's a multitude of different contributors, different organizations that contribute and all have a say and keep the project independent.
Yeah, I think compared to 20 or 10 years ago, there's no issue anymore to integrate open source components in a enterprise stack. I talk on a daily basis with open source leader working for a very large company, and it's sometimes the choice number one. First, check if an open source technology exists, evaluate it, and then go to a commercial software vendor if it does not match.
First of all, I think it's impossible to run any piece of software that doesn't contain open source. Everything is built on open source libraries, open source foundations. And open source, in my opinion, gives you the freedom to work with a platform that can never be acquired, that can never be, can disappear. Software evolves, the market evolves, so there are projects in the Apache Software Foundation that reach their end of life.
Yes.
And then there is an attic, just like you have the incubator at the start of the project lifecycle. There is an attic where projects go when they reach their end of life, and then the software is still available. Yes. There won't be any releases, there won't be any active development, but you still have the software available. And in the case of, well, the Pentaho data integration Talend that we just mentioned, where the available downloadable versions, the source code just disappeared or had a license change, you don't have that risk with open source.
Yeah, sure.
On the other hand, you do have a risk with open source in the sense that even though you can download, we'll get to that in more detail in a minute as well, but you can download the software for free and run it for free, but the time that you spend learning how to use it, how to configure it, how to solve problems isn't free. And that's where we can help, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, there's always a lock-in somewhere. It's maybe not a vendor lock-in, but it's a
There's no
technology.
free.
Yeah, exact. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, one of the biggest benefits of Apache Hop is that we offer a visual development interface. So instead of writing code, you visually develop pipelines, connect different pieces of functionality and link them together. And that combination of small blocks of functionality in a visually developed pipeline lets you build complex and powerful projects. And the real advantage there is that compared to code, in a visual layout, you immediately see the flow of your data going through a process. So you see that you, for example, read data from a file, do a database lookup, do another interaction with a cloud function, call a piece of script if you want to, and then write that out to another target platform. But you visually can follow up how your data flows through the project.
Yeah, we will maybe see the comeback of no code and visual solution like that because of AI and the way to build agentic components can be very fast using such solution to assemble visual components together to create a final solution. Yes.
And I don't think it's really a comeback. There have always been visual development tools in the market, but I think we're a change that you see these days and where we focus on with Apache Hop is that even though you don't write code, you visually develop pipelines and workflows. We try to integrate a software development workflow and mentality in the way you handle your projects. So we have support for unit testing, for version control. You can work with different projects, different deployment environments. So we really try to integrate as well as possible with the development lifecycle of a project. We consider an Apache Hop project as almost a data development project.
Oh, okay, makes sense.
Flexibility. I already mentioned that Hop can run in the cloud, can run on premise, in Docker and Kubernetes, can integrate with basically almost everything. The architecture, we'll get to that in a minute as well, is flexible, supports plugins, and lets you add new functionality. We add new functionality in every release. So you have a lot of flexibility there. We try to make everything as standard as possible so we don't enforce anything on your architecture. We integrate with the architecture, the data architecture that you have, and make the most of it.
Okay, and having an on-premise version I think this is a good idea as well.
You need to have both. Even hybrid is used in a lot of scenarios. So we don't exclude anything basically. Scalable, we can work. Hop works with data of any size, small data files on a local file system up to petabytes in distributed clusters. So from small to big data in batch in real time, we can definitely work with it all.
Okay.
And last but not least, again, the community. We have a strong, growing global community that interacts with each other. And that is a bit of it's a process. We recently switched, for example, from a Mattermost chat where people interacted with each other to GitHub discussions,
Okay.
where we have more long form discussions that are publicly available, but we try to enable the right tools for optimal community interaction.
Okay.
And that is where we see that Hop really grows and excels. It's when people come together that they can ask questions, answer each other's questions, and get the most out of the product, the platform.
Yeah, this is a key point, right? Having a strong community to help you building pipelines or copy pasting things already developed by others. Yeah, this is mandatory.
That's crucial. And as a community and as Hop developers, it helps us to get as much feedback as possible and as early as possible to keep a close eye on what is going on, what people like, what they need, what they don't like.
Okay.
Negative feedback is negative feedback is a lot easier to get than positive feedback.
Yeah, you always have haters everywhere. So
Yes, and people will ask questions about what works and what they don't like, and people are not that into saying what you do like is not that intuitive, but it's part of the process.
yeah, sure. Okay.
So quick timeline. We started Apache Hop in 2019 as a fork of PDI 8.2. We started the Apache incubator that I already mentioned, where we went through code review for licensing, copyrights, all of the legal part of the software, basically. So that is all checked and done. We graduated as a top level project in 2021, and the evolution has started since then. We have regular updates. We have regular updates, and new features are added constantly. I'll talk about that in a minute as well.
Okay.
Quick look at the architecture. We have the Apache Hop engine that runs in a number of environments. So you have Hop GUI, the visual development environment, Hop Run, Hop Server. Hop Run is a CLI tool, command line tool to check, modify, create configurations. And Hop Server is a lightweight web server that you can use to send workflows, pipelines to, and execute and follow up there. Then we have a concept of projects and environments. The environments are at the bottom, so you have your development, testing, production, probably a couple of lab environments as well. And we consider your project to be the code, the environment to be the configuration. And with your project in version control and the development configuration next to your project, you can easily check out a version of a project in development, UAT, production, and then go through the project's life cycle.
Okay, I think it's a Java-based engine, right?
Written in Java. We do have some integration with scripting languages, with other languages, Python, Groovy, Scala. But everything in Hop is written in Java.
Okay.
Doesn't mean you have to be a Java developer. The goal of Apache Hop is that you can avoid writing code in your entire project, but you can add scripting, add code if you want to, and you can extend, modify the platform if you're a developer.
Okay, good.
Within a project we have a lot of metadata items. Metadata is a crucial concept in Apache Hop. We treat everything as metadata. So we never touch the data itself. Everything is done on a metadata basis through configuration. And we have metadata options for a lot of tens of different databases, each with their own dialect, relational databases. Then we have MongoDB, Neo4j, other NoSQL databases, and a couple of metadata items of our own. So probes, logging metadata types, unit tests, a lot more. And those can be used in your workflows and pipelines. So the pipelines are where the actual ETL happens, where you extract, modify, enrich, and load data to a platform. And ETL in the broad sense, not in the traditional sense of loading data marts, but you name it, basically.
Okay.
And workflows are the orchestration part of the project. So in a workflow, you will run child workflows, run pipelines, do environment checks, do error handling, more the high level tasks that don't really operate on the data itself.
Okay, very clear. So you are doing ETL, not ELT, right?
You can do ELT. Okay. We don't have a lot of very specific ELT functionality, but we have what you can run operations within a database. So you can use Hop to land your data in the database and then modify your data there. But the focus is on the ETL.
ETL, okay, good. Okay, very clear.
And then at the bottom, we have the run configuration. So once you build your pipelines, workflows in a project with the right environment configuration, you can run it on a multitude of run configurations or run environments that could be local on a server, could be a remote server, and we integrate with Apache Beam. Beam is a layer, a unified programming layer on top of clustered distributed environments like Apache Spark, Apache Flink, Google Dataflow. So you can, Hop can evolve with your data. If you start small and your data grows, you can develop your pipelines, run them on a single machine, and as soon as your data outgrows a single machine, you can take your existing pipelines and run them on a Spark over in Google Dataflow.
So it's develop once and run anywhere.
Yes.
Very clear.
A couple of the technologies. This is a limited overview. It's not everything, but there's a lot of sources, data sources that we can read from. Right? There are databases, Postgres, Oracle, or the SQL Server out there, but we have, I think, well over 50 database dialects available out of the box. New ones are added almost with every release. The number of databases that keep showing up is near limitless. But integrating those is pretty straightforward, and we add new database dialects with every release. There are Kafka, Cassandra. There are tens, hundreds of platforms that we can integrate with. Then when you run, when you read data, modify it, enrich it, you can write it out to similar platforms, and we run, like I said before, we can run on on-prem in Docker containers in Kubernetes or on the three major clouds.
Okay. And then I've seen that you have updated your solution with Mistral, OpenAI, and Llama stuff.
Yes, we had. Well, I mentioned community. One of the contributions that major contributions that one of our community members made was a set of plugins in the latest release in 2.11. And that contribution is a number of plugins. So we have LLM chat plugins with OpenAI, LLM, Llama, a couple of other engines. Language detection, Stanford NLP. So that's a new area of functionality that is that was added in 2.11, but there's a lot of activity going on there. So that's definitely here to stay. And I expect there to be a lot of exciting new development in the coming releases.
Yeah, we're talking a lot about agent AI, so yeah, you need to be ready about that.
Yes, yeah, yes, definitely. And I don't think that AI will solve a lot of the nitty gritty data engineering problems. Data quality is still and the very specifics of reading data is it's all very specific. So you need the human factor, but integrating with AI with LLMs will definitely open up a lot of new opportunities, and we're there.
Okay.
We're ready.
Okay, you have no choice. You have to do it.
No, we can't stay behind, definitely. But it's actually great to see these things coming from community members who contribute that functionality to Apache Hop and make it a much richer platform.
Okay.
As no BI, I already mentioned, as no BI, we have in no way control over what Apache Hop, what Apache Hop is and does, but we do contribute. We strongly believe in the power of community. We already did in the Pentaho days, where there were annual community meetings. We organized a couple of those in Antwerp and in the Pentaho days, and we continue to do so with Apache Hop. So we contribute a lot. We will announce a couple of enhancements to Apache Hop in later this month, hopefully. And the goal there is to make things that are possible in Apache Hop easier, provide better insights, things that add real enterprise value on top of the standard open source offering. One of the things that I already mentioned is the support. So open source is free, as in there is no download cost to acquire the software,
yes.
to run it on your own platform, but there is a cost in the time that you need to invest, learning how to use it, learning how to apply best practices, learning how to deploy and run in production. And we can help you there with support, with knowledge base, with e-learning modules, and with enhanced functionality.
Okay.
And to generate technical documentation and a couple of other ones.
Yeah, we didn't mention that, but I think you are based in Belgium, right?
Yes,
Okay.
correct. Yeah, but that's the advantage of living in this day and age. It doesn't really matter.
Exactly.
Time zones are a bit of a problem, but if you're flexible, it doesn't really matter if you work for customers' projects in Belgium, Europe, or the rest of the world.
Yes, no problem.
Migrations from other platforms to Apache Hop are an important aspect. If you're coming from the Pentaho data integration world, we have an import tool. So you can convert Pentaho jobs and transformations into Apache Hop workflows and pipelines. That is not the case for Talend and other platforms, but the process is still the same. So you can have an audit of what your existing project looks like, and then gradually move your existing project to Apache Hop and start running in the Apache Hop ecosystem.
Okay, I think there's no big issues to migrate from Pentaho to Apache Hop, right? Okay.
No. Behind the scenes, in 5 years of development, there literally is not a single line of code that hasn't been modified. So the functionality is entirely different, but both Pentaho and Apache Hop serialize workflows and pipelines or jobs and transformations in PDI as XML, and we can use that XML as an intermediate layer to translate the Pentaho functionality to Apache Hop.
Okay.
There are a couple of caveats. If you have custom Pentaho code, that needs to be converted to Hop code. But other than that, the migration process is very straightforward.
Okay, very clear.
Yeah, community again. As a community, we provide regular releases. We do 4 to 5 releases per year. Last year we had 4 releases. In 2023 there were 5, but we aim for roughly a 2-month release cycle and we skip 1 release in the summer, basically. And the releases are built based on bugs that users create in our GitHub issues, feature requests that we receive. So it's all community driven, based on the feedback.
Okay. Yeah, and it's also a call to action. You invite people to join your project, right? And I think it's important to mention that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I'll go back to the roadmap in a second. Yes, community is what drives Apache Hop. So we invite people to contribute to use Hop and to contribute, but we consider contribution to be a very broad term. Contribution in a lot of open source projects means writing code, testing. It's contributing on a code basis. As a visual development tool, we consider that to be a lot broader. So we consider documentation updates, samples, blog posts even are all valid contributions.
Okay.
And related to documentation, I think documentation is a very important aspect of every software project. And we consider documentation to be part of the code as well. So documentation can have bugs. If you create a bug ticket for documentation, we consider that equally important as bugs in the software, basically.
Okay, good.
And there's a growing set of tutorials, documentations, the forums. The GitHub discussions are our forum, and we invite you to join the growing community and work with Apache Hop in general. I'll get to the links in a minute. We can have a quick word about the roadmap. There's no specific order or priority here, but one of the things that we'll start working on and have already started working on is VFS refactoring and updates. VFS is a virtual file system, and that allows you to work with files as if they are a URL. Doesn't matter if they are on your local file system, on a remote server over FTP, HTTPS, other protocols, but also in the cloud. So you can access files in an Azure blob storage container, an S3 bucket, Google Cloud Storage, and many other platforms. And these things are changing quite rapidly, and we have to keep up, first of all, and extend the existing functionality. So one of the things that we added late last year was support for multiple Azure accounts, Azure blob storage accounts, so you can connect with one account to read files and write them out with separate accounts.
Yes.
And do these things for other,
and Iceberg is doing the buzz. I think it's really mandatory to integrate Iceberg and the OpenTape formats as well.
Yes. Yeah. That's we'll see when we have the time and where that ends up on the priority list. But Iceberg is not something we can ignore. It's definitely here to stay, and it's gaining traction rapidly. Marketplace is something that we'll work on as well. There are a number of external plugins that people have built or ported from existing Pentaho plugins or new development. There is a couple popular, and there's a popular set of GIS, so geographical information plugins that was developed in France, actually. I can share the link later. There are a lot of others, and we need to have a better way to let people discover, install, test those plugins. So a marketplace will be there. We will have improved Kubernetes support. You can already run Hop as a pod in a Kubernetes cluster, but there's more that we can do. There's always more that we can do in metadata as well. So things that we are working on now is adding improved metadata so that you can know where, for example, a database connection is used in any part of your project. Things like that. Dependencies will be easier to detect. So there's a couple of things going on there. Graphs. I haven't discussed graphs yet, but we have excellent support for the Neo4j graph database. And with the graph database market maturing, there's more focus on the Bolt protocol, on OpenCipher, and we'll extend the existing Neo4j functionality to work with the Open Graph standards in the near future.
Okay.
And I already mentioned Apache Beam as the unified programming layer for distributed platforms like Spark, like Flink, like Google Dataflow is already integrated, but there's more that we can do, and we'll add more functionality there as well.
Okay, so thank you for that, Bart. I think we have a good product here, and we invite people to join the project and evaluate the solution as well, of course.
Yeah.
And they can join you, they can contact you, and they can join the community as well.
Yes, they can reach out, and Hop is at hop.apache.org. So feel free to download, to take it for a spin, and let us know.
Yes, thank you, Bart, for this overview, and talk to you soon. Talk to you soon to see the new development regarding AI and Iceberg and all the buzz of 2024.
There's a lot of exciting stuff that will be coming out in the later months of the year.
Yeah, thank you very much, Bart.
Right. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you.